Welcome to the session. My name is Ankur Jain. I'm software engineer at Google. I work with enterprise identity and APIs team. So today we are going to talk about Google Apps identity management. When you hear identity in Google context, as Jack was mentioning, mostly these identities are Gmail IDs. But then there are also other identities at Google which are hosted by Google but actually owned by domain administrator as part of Google Apps products. So we are going to talk about these identities today. A quick introduction about what Google Apps product is. It's an enterprise offering to customers by Google for bundling all the suites and applications like Gmail, Drive, Docs, Calendar, etc. that people love in their personal life, day-to-day life. They can use these things at their work as well. The way Google Apps product work is, the admin needs to actually prove the ownership of the domain first, and only once he has proven the domain ownership on these domains, he can go create these identities. Quick agenda for today. So we would be talking about provisioning and management aspects of these identities. We would be talking about tools and technologies that we use at Google to keep these identities secure. And finally, we'll talk about ways to federate these identities with external third-party systems. So first of all, what are these enterprise identities? So as I mentioned, these are identities hosted by Google, but actually owned by customer. Domain admin comes, proves the domain ownership, and then he can do the lifecycle management of these identities. He can create these IDs, update users, he can delete these identities, etc. These are totally supervised by admin. Admin gets number of controls on what these identities can do in the domain, various policies, access control mechanisms, and things of that sort. Admin also get other kind of tools to do the reporting and analytics of how users are using these identities, other insights and auditing capabilities. He gets enterprise support and things of that sort. The end user, the user in the company gets business class services, Gmail, apps, Drive, Docs, etc. And these are with better SLA than consumer grade Gmail and stuff. And admin, of course, gets more control. Now, because these are enterprise identities, there are ways to have more enterprise-specific attributes and metadata about users to keep into the system as well. OK, so let's first see the provisioning and management aspect. At Google, there are a couple ways to do provisioning by admin. One is admin console, that is the UI way, and the other one is admin SDK, that is the API SDK to do the provisioning. In admin console way, this is the snapshots from our recently launched user creation flow. As you can see, there are some core attributes like name and email and password that admin needs to create this user. Optionally, he can also give secondary email address, phones, contact details, etc. As these are enterprise users, there are some enterprise-specific attributes as well. Things like employee ID, title, employee type, his manager, cost center, and things of that sort. Now the question arises, do we think all these attributes and metadata defines the enterprise user completely for each and every scenario, for each and every company? The answer is clearly no. Every company has its own ways to look into its users. No single shoe fit everybody. So we know that we need some customizations and extensions of these users and attributes about these users. So here is early access program. So here is this, wow. Screenshots from early access program. So we give admins now capability to customize what user attributes you want to see in the domain. And if you don't have everything that you need, you can extend your user definition and add more custom schemas and custom attributes about users. In this particular example, I'm saying, let's say I want to keep more location-specific information about the user. What is his desk number? What is the VC bridge that he uses? I can simply create this schema saying VC bridge is a string type, and say desk number is also a string type. And once I have this custom schema, using either UI way or API way, I can go and update each and every user to populate the right values for each user in the domain. Of course, both the schema creation and user data population can happen via both APIs or the UI admin console way. Okay, so Google also offers APIs to do the provisioning. And these APIs actually grew organically over the last few years. So if you were to create this picture of a user in your domain, say 1.5 years ago, these are the APIs that you would need to call. You can see that these APIs look little fragmented. The look and feel, the way these APIs work are a little different, and hence it's a problem for both admin and developer who are going and using these APIs. So we identified and realized that, yeah, this is a problem. Last year, we launched Admin SDK, which is a simple, consistent, and comprehensive way of managing your enterprise resources at Google. These resources, of course, include users. It also has other enterprise concepts like org units and groups and device management capabilities. As part of this Admin SDK launch, we also moved our old provisioning APIs from like 5-year-old technologies to newer technologies, things like using JSON kind of feeds and things of that sort. Okay, so we have created all these users with all those core enterprise attributes, all the custom attributes that you wanted. Now, what do you do with all this metadata? Unless you can use that all this information in some meaningful way, populating user with all this data is of no use. So in typical scenarios, in companies, you may want to do communication based on your org hierarchy or based on your department and things of that sort. So what if you can find all users who belong to a particular department or a particular cost center and create a group out of it, so that every communication that you need to do, you just send a mail onto that group and that works. So you would need capabilities to find all the users that belong to a particular OU or a cost center or things of that sort. Say you want to find users which are in a particular state, like all users who have some specific roles or are in suspended state. So you can do all those kind of rich searches as well. Say my admin wants to go find all the users who worked on the school project called Cloud Identity Summit Presentation and want to give them 50% pay raise, he can go find those users as well. Okay, let's quickly move to a demo. A quick note. The demo is, this demo app is a toy app just to showcase the abilities of or capabilities of these discoverability and extensibility of user profile. It's a toy app written in Python in few hours. So don't judge my programming skills based on this. So in this app, it's a user explorer using these Admin SDK APIs. We are just doing queries based on various parameters and metadata that we set on these users. We find all the users and populate some basic information about these users. So let's say I want to find all users whose email starts with A. So you can see that I'm typing, or if you can, is this visible? Yeah, okay. So I'm saying email :A star. So it's kind of a prefix search. I don't know all the users' emails that start with A, but I want to find myself, ankur@domain.com, but I don't remember the email. I can just say A star, and with that search, it will do all the prefix search, and you can see users whose emails start with A are here. Say I want to do another query where I want to find all people who are in a particular department, say called Dasher, and you can find those users as well. Now, at enterprise, manager has a special role, right? And everybody takes care of manager in a special way. So did we. So manager is a special attribute, and we don't just index your direct managers. We also index all indirect managers that are above you, so that you can build a good org hierarchy or hierarchy tree all the way up. And that enables a number of use cases. Like, let's say if you want to write expense management app, your direct manager has a limit that he can just approve claims till a certain amount, and if a claim is above that threshold, it needs to get escalated to his manager. So how do you find this chain? Or there can be other similar use cases, right? So we give ability to do search based on direct managers. So everybody who reports to Jay Kota here, I could directly go search that. So let's quickly look at all the users once again and see this user called Sanjay. Jay and Parag actually directly reports into him. Jay's manager is Sanjay, and so is Parag's manager Sanjay. So when I do an indirect search of manager based on manager, I can just say manager Sanjay Anand, and it should give me not just his direct reports, Jay and Parag, it will also give me all the reports that were reporting into Jay and Parag. So you can do search based on direct managers as well as indirect managers, and you can find all this information. Okay. So let's go back to presentation. And so we so far have seen how you can create user with what core attributes Google provide. You can extend these definitions for your own domain. You have rich search capabilities on this user. When all these nice features meet my desperate attempt to become Batman, this is what happens. So this is a similar looking snapshot of a tool that we use at Google very heavily and widely to find other users in Google. So this is kind of like corporate white pages, right? Things of interest here, you can see that it has the org hierarchy from the employee all the way up till CEO. This is using that hierarchy tree that I was talking about. You can also find quick introduction about the user, his name, his email, his mission, his title, his projects, etc. You can find his profile. This can include core attributes like employee ID and office phone number, etc. Or it can have schema extension that you use, the location that I just set, the desk number, right? And of course, you can find direct manager and all direct reportees and paint this picture. So as I mentioned, last year we launched Admin SDK, and after launching Admin SDK, we worked on some other cool features. A couple of them I want to highlight here, the things that we have launched in the last 1 year. The first one of them is app script integration. So what is app script? App script is a scripting tool with which you can make write quick scripts. Typically, in enterprise scenarios, admin can hack up a day-to-day scenario-based tools or scripts. App script also has some integration to make very native or very simple-looking UI. So, say admin wants to create a tool to reset somebody's password. He can create a quick tool with that. Or the use case I was mentioning, like find every user who belongs to a particular manager or organization and create a group which comprises of all those users. It would be a 10-line script in AppScript. The other feature I want to highlight here is push events. So Any changes that are happening on the identity in your domain, things like new user creation, user deletion, any user updates like reset password or things of that sort, we now send programmatic notifications on these events. So that help building tools like directory sync. So traditionally, the way you would build a directory sync tool is to go every so often and do a poll. You don't know which user changed, which user got deleted, which user got created, and there is no specific way to find those deltas, right? Like you do go to a poll. With push notification events, you can programmatically set whenever a particular type of event that is of your interest happens, you will get a programmatic notification, and in your server side, you can write a tool to handle that notification, find what exactly changed about this user, and act on that user. Maybe you want to sync your on-premise database with that. So you can do those things. OK, so we have seen how you can do provisioning and management of these users. Once you create these users, users get to go use all these nice apps. But the question that comes into admin's mind is, how do I keep these identities secure? How do I keep the data that these identities can access in my corporate? How do I secure that data? So we have a number of machine learning tools and stuff that we build at Google to make sure that these identities are secured. And also with that, we give number of controls to admin. So here I'm showing in admin console, admin can go find user password strength for each and every user. So if he feels that some user doesn't have a strong enough password, he can flag him and say that change password at next login. You can also see password length of every user if it was set in plain text when it was set. There are also policies and things that admin can go set that minimum password length in my domain is say 8 character or 10 character, things of that sort. The other nice control that admin gets is reporting, visualization, and alerting and insights into activities that are happening in the domain. So these could be activities like your login activities, like which IPs you are logging in from, what times you are logging in from, and things of that sort. A quick little story. Right after we launched this feature, in a couple of weeks, a big customer sent us a note of appreciation. What happened was, thanks to these reports, they could find some specific logins which were happening from a part of world from where they were not expecting any logins. They found it suspicious and they started investigating. Those activities or those logins were actually unintentional. They were coming into system and looking into critical data of the organization. Thanks to these reports, admin came to know about those suspicious activities, and he could actually go block those things. And of course, sent Google a note of appreciation. Next is anti-hijacking thing. So as I mentioned, Google has a number of state-of-art technology tools and algorithms that we are working on to identify any suspicious things that happen with any of these identities, or things like you should not be logging in from these machines, or you should not be logging in from these locations, what happened. And in case of any such suspicion, the user is shown a login challenge. So in this particular example, user is asked to do a second factor using either via an SMS or via automated phone call. Talking about second factor, these enterprise admins get capabilities like he can set a policy to enforce that every user in the domain has to use two-factor authentication. He can actually leave it open and leave it opt-in as well. For people who have opt-in, admin can go see who all are using, like how many users in my domain are actually using 2SV and things of that sort. Yeah.
Force that on a subset of users?
Yes, you can.
Like all IT staff must do this.
Yes.
How long has that picture been there?
A little while.
3 years. 3 years?
Okay. So, users who have opted in or are enforced can go use these Google Authenticator or any other way to get OTPs, like other HSM mechanisms that we have, to find this OTP and use this. At times, like accidentally, a genuine user also, like maybe I lost my key fob or something, can approach admin, and admin can create temporary OTP passwords for these users to log them out, either via API or via UI. Okay, so admin also gets control to see all the access grants and application-specific password that a particular user has created. So in case of application-specific password, you would know that the user has created this ASP and using it for this application on this device. Similarly, on OAuth grants, admin can go see which application, what scopes, what granularity, etc. And if he finds anything suspicious or if he doesn't like anything, he can just go revoke those grants. In today's world, mobile bring your own device is a very common use case. So we understand that in a lot of scenarios, the corporate data actually gets used from mobile devices which are not IT admin owned devices. So we want to give admins control over there as well in terms of some device management capabilities. So here you can see that admin can go create policies like if you are using corporate identity on your device, you must have a screen lock, which is, say, not a pattern type. It has to be a pin type. And the pin length should be minimum of 8 characters. If the phone is inactive, it has to get locked down in less than 10 minutes or so, things of that sort. In the console, admin can actually go see all the devices which have corporate identity account installed on it. He can go check these devices, and if he finds something suspicious, he doesn't like something, he can go block those devices. If a device gets stolen or lost, he can go remote wipe it from here as well. Okay, so we saw how we create rich enterprise user, how you can extend him and do discovery on top of him. We saw tools and technologies to secure these identities and secure data that these identities can go access. Next, see how we can federate using these identities. So we all know federation, right? Like federation is using multiple systems together with a single identity. In current world, like there are best of breeds app that a customer wants to use in his company, and these app come from different service providers. So admin, so single sign-on essentially is a convenience to user. He just need to remember one password, but it's also a convenience to admin because there is a central place where he can go provision, deprovision these users, can do policy management, access control, and things of that sort. So first, let's see standards like OpenOAuth or OpenID Connect or OAuth and things where like Google have been actively contributing, as Jack was mentioning. For enterprise developers to act or to write applications in Google, there is this Google Apps Marketplace place where you can go create your applications and deploy these applications. These applications are then discoverable by admins and domain, and you can reach out to all those customers, potential customers. For admins, this is a place where you can go find your productivity tools or CRM tools and things of that sort, and you can, with a single click, install for every user in the domain. We recently did a major overhaul of Google Apps Marketplace, and with that we launched some new features, things like in-context discovery of admin panel within an admin panel. So now admin from within admin panel can go find these apps based on keywords instead of going into a different marketplace place. Of course, that route is available as well, but you can now do in-context search as well. All these new marketplace apps are using OAuth 2.0 single sign-on support. Again, here we do app enablement capabilities on OU basis, so you can selectively turn the app on for few people in the domain if you wish to. Now, if you realize, App Marketplace, Google Apps Marketplace so far is for admins, and admins can go find these apps and install these apps. But what if end user also wants to do this discovery and install the app for himself? We are working on that feature as well. So now user can find apps and install. With this additional capability to user, admin needs more control as well. He wants to make sure that users are installing right apps and not installing wrong apps and things of that sort. So we are also working on app whitelisting and blacklisting features. The other standard that is more popular in enterprise scenarios is SAML. And Google here acts as a relying party. So say a customer has already set up his identity provider, say Ping in this case, and he wants to use Google Apps application in his domain. So he can set up Google as relying party, and at the login time, based on these configurations that the admin has done, we would know that Google is not your IDP, as opposed to your admin has configured Ping as your IDP, and will redirect you to Ping to login. And then once Ping sends back the right assertions, we will let you in Google. So this was relying party implementation. Google is also working on making SAML identity provider. This is in really early stages, but yeah, this is work in progress. We are working on it. So with that, we reach a little early end to our presentation. Summary: 3 things if you were to remember from this talk today. I would say the first one is rich enterprise profiles and extensibility and discoverability on those profiles. The second one is enterprise-grade security, which is both on web and mobile. And the third one is the way you can federate using these identities with external third-party systems. Thank you. Questions?
Do you plan to support Scheme for user management?
Good question. The question is, do we plan to support SCIM for user management? So the quick answer is yes. The little longer version of the answer would be we are planning on it and we are working on it, but we don't have any timelines yet. Yeah.
The extension attributes that we showed
Mm-hmm.
they show in OIDC claims, open and connect claims.
Yes. So this is these are the attributes on the user itself, and admin can define the granularity of how visible these or how shareable these attributes are. And again, admin would be doing the setup of what can go out, like how much user data is readable outside, and if he set it up, you can go query that. Yes.
Assuming the answer is no, but is it possible to federate only a subset of users within a particular domain?
Yeah, the answer is no. So yeah, typically the way it works is for a domain you do this setup of where your IDP is. I think the answer is not exactly no, but you may choose to say if the user is coming in from these IPs or things of that sort, probably you can distinguish. For instance, like your admins, no matter what, they have to have a Google identity and password, and they have to log. Like, if you misconfigure, there is no way to log into Google again, right? So admin would always log in using Google credentials.
One limited use case we see is a company who's not choosing to outsource email to Google. Maybe they're just using Google AdWords or Google Drives for analytics. Sometimes they'll pay just for 50 of their employees to be set up with the premium services and SLA.
Yes.
Those 50, they'll set up SAML. The rest of the people in the company can sign up for Google accounts themselves, and it doesn't have to go, but they didn't pay for it. So we see some doing that.
Other use case where I'm coming from is we have a large user population, and we would want to gradually roll out the experience.
Yeah, so I think typically that happens is you create a test setup, and then under a new domain and try that. Yeah, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Any yeah.
Any plans to support delegated access similar to the use case would be to delegate to another Google account. This is like a consultant going into set up accounts or something like that.
Depending on what you need to do, yes. So there is a so it's available in admin console. You can go create delegated admin roles, and then say like I'm super admin and I want this guy to do part of responsibilities. So based on org unit levels, I can go and say that this guy assumes role of a particular type, and he can touch all the users in this particular limited scope and things of that sort, and that would work. Yes. No, go on.
So I appreciate the push notifications on the user management API. That's very useful. Is there support for differential query? I'm not considering the admin communication, or I just want to get the changes and not the entire user set.
So is that between timestamps? No, that's not there yet. So yeah, the one way to tackle that problem is push notification. So earlier, like what we had was blind, just poll everything. So this is a step improvement, saying that anytime anything changes, if you have configured it, it's not email notifications, it's proper programmatic systematic notifications. So you can write server endpoints against this to consume those notifications. Yeah. You have a question? No. Go ahead.
Enterprise identity, when we have a user that leaves the company and we go to retire that account, right now we have to disable that account to keep those artifacts that are associated with them alive. Is there anything that we should be looking at doing on the future for
So
maybe up to the manager and that data or whatever?
I don't know how much I can tell here, but there is work in progress for that. Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll get on afterwards.
Yeah. You can catch me. Any more questions? Okay. In that case, thank you.